Hand things over to this next poet, and he's going to end the night with you, but also he's going to read a little poetry first. So please give a huge round of applause to Johnathon.
You're all just too kind. So the other day I was showering when I wrote this new shit I'm about to read. I was trying to remember the words to Bob Dylan's Desolation Row, and well, if you haven't heard it, there's a lot of words to that particular Bob Dylan song. So in lieu of trying to remember the words or Googling them, as people my age are often want to do when they don't know something, I made up my own verse to Desolation Row by Bob Dylan. This is called Rejected Verses from Desolation Row, or what a man can come up with in the shower in 15 minutes when he's trying to sound deep. Well, the heavens are on fire and there's fault lines everywhere. There's a Judas on the corner trying to cut Rapunzel's hair. The Pied Piper plays a penny whistle leading sinners to his lair, while the flamenco dancers just stand still. They've become the tempo's foe. Medusa froze their bodies to Desolation Row. There was a time when simple men could break the physics of the sky. Now Newton has taken over, and they're all just asking why. They beg the bag lady for her secrets, but she turns a broken ear. She wore invisibility for so long, she forgot that she was here. Now the peasants are untouchable in their fields of edible gold. They've spun themselves back into children in the stories their mothers told. At the end of another night on Desolation Row, I totally messed the rhythmic part of that one up. The spinning wheel makes sleeping wheels for the daughters of the upper class. Christ pours a glass of water into sobriety's glass. And the magistrates just instigate a state-sponsored broken home. The king of the road now has steel bars where once he used to roam. All the children of the revolution have got retirement plans. They fell asleep in red velvet chairs with hardened blue-collar hands. While outside the wind whistles and blows away the rainbow, brings the future to a standstill. The past has nowhere to go. Everything is froze forever on Desolation Row. Lazarus looks up to the heavens. His hands are binded now. Dorian Gray's face falls apart and shatters on the ground. A paper cup of innocence, all that's left as the days close. The nightfall brings the fear of all that we do not know. He chokes on his hopes and dreams, kills the boy from long ago. The gallows of youth now line Desolation Row. The marbles have all shattered. The old man walks on broken glass, waiting for his neighbor, the contortionist, to show him how to bend himself in half, so he can fit into the boy he knew he murdered long ago, with business plans and life's demands on Desolation Row. Don't apply for that. Like, I thought the first part, like the first two lines, I'm like, I think that's actually in the song. It's not actually in the song. This is called Ode for Lorena Bobbitt. For kids growing up in the early 90s, John and Lorena Bobbitt were the punchline of many a playground joke. Made just out of the earshot of our teachers and bereft of all the knowledge they would one day impart upon us. Lorena Bobbitt played the role of the crazy female. John Bobbitt's name used to describe any man whose actions may get his penis cut off while he slept at night. We weren't old enough to actually watch the news. That is to say, we didn't write our own material. Punchlines stolen from the dinner table jokes where too often our fathers were the only ones laughing. Fathers who chose the appropriate audience for a joke with the same presence of mind it took them to crack the window a quarter inch before lighting a cigarette. And many of us grew up to be our father's sons, despite expert witness testimony for both the prosecution and defense stating that, quote, he had mentally and physically battered her, that the abuse was escalating, and that by 1993 she lived in a constant state of fear of him, end quote. When she was found not guilty, it was due to insanity, as if her desire to live were insane, as if she were making it all up. As a generation of fathers cracked a joke before cracking the window another quarter inch, John Bobbitt was acquitted on marital rape charges. They said there were too many differing accounts. More likely, this was 1993 and marital rape had just become a crime nationwide. Before that, fathers were free to joke, "She already said I do" when they got married. Light a cigarette. No cracked window. Inhale slow sun. These things will make a man out of you. Too many of us became our father's sons, toxins hanging on our breath. John Bobbitt's penis would be surgically reattached. If you're wondering if it still worked, he would go on to appear in 2 adult films. Lorena Bobbitt was court-ordered to undergo a 45-day psychiatric evaluation. Father tells son joke, lights cigarette, passes torch to son. Son inhales. I almost walked off the stage because that's like the fuck y'all peace out thing that poets do. Then I remembered I have to introduce the next several poets, and
Sucker.
I didn't even realize Link was back there. I was like, God, why do you sound like Link?